Okay, good evening. So today my goal is actually to talk briefly about what Java is, what kind of programming language it is, and what can we do with Java. Also, we will install Java today and one more necessary tool called Eclipse. So we'll install both of them, and then we'll try to write a very simple program, the simplest program in the world. So we'll try to code that, write that, and then we'll execute that and see what happens. And then we'll learn a little more about it. Okay? So it's a very basic things. Yes, I'm recording, and let's get started. So, as you all know, Java is a programming language, right? So what kind of software can we write using Java? So Java can be used for various number of applications, ranging from web applications. Java is mainly used in many of the websites that you see it. Okay, not necessarily, but the websites like Amazon.com, Google.com, etc. And then also you can use Java in mobile platform. Okay, in fact, Android is written in Java. Actually, in Android, you write Java programs there. Okay, so you can write, you can build websites using Java, and you can build mobile apps. Not exact. I mean, you can build mobile apps using Java. Especially slightly modified version of it is Android. So using which you can build, fantastic mobile applications. And in addition to that, Java can be used in a lot of small consumer electronics like your refrigerator, microwaves, etc. You can write programs. So it's a general purpose programming language. That's why we call it general purpose programming language. It's not specific to any domain. You can only write Java for financial domain. You can only write Java for software applications or products. No, it's a general purpose programming language that you can use it anywhere. Okay, it's a very wide scope, and probably arguably or unarguably, Java is the most popular programming language in the world. It's the number one in almost in every single aspect of it, ranging from number of applications that are written in Java, number of developers, number of users. In every single way, Java is number one. I mean, there are more modern programming languages these days, but Java is still number one. So this Java, actually it has two flavors. So it has two flavors. All of us need Java. Oops. So all of us need Java in our machines. So when we go for shopping, when we do online shopping, going to websites like Amazon.com and a lot more websites, right? So some of these websites, what they do is they will push a small piece of Java code onto your machine, onto your browser, and ask your browser to execute it. Ask your computer to execute it. Okay? So we would need Java on almost every single desktop, laptop that we use where we normally shop. Okay? So even our moms and dads, they need Java on their machines to be able to do shopping securely. But we are the Java developers, so we are going to write the Java applications, right? So we need something else called development kit. There is something called JDK, Java Development Kit. So what Java Development Kit does is it will give you all the tools that are required to be able to write the Java programs. Okay, you can start coding in Java actually using JDK. But everyone else, like our moms and dads, they need something called JRE, Java Runtime Environment. You need this one to be installed on almost every single machine to do some of the banking websites. They require this. Okay, because they push some Java code onto your machine and ask it to execute it. So you need Java runtime environment. What it means is that to be able to run a piece of Java code, you need a software that needs to be running on your machine. That is called Java runtime environment. So every machine pretty much needs JRE, but only developers need JDK. So we need JDK. And by the way, once you become, once you learn Java programming language and the whole ecosystem, the complete platform, and you will be joining the companies as Java developers. So your role will be Java developers. The reason they call Java developers is because you are the expert in writing Java applications using Java programming language and several frameworks that we'll talk about it in this 3 months period. Okay, so obviously since we are Java developers, we need JDK. This is what we need, and obviously when we download and install, by the way, it is free. Okay, it is free. Once you download and install, you will automatically get JRE as well. You will obviously get the runtime environment because using JDK, you are going to write the Java code. And you are going to run your Java code in this JRE. So JRE provides runtime environment to run your Java code onto it. Okay? So that's about JDK and JRE. And now let's talk about how to install or how to download JDK, and then we'll start diving into writing our first program in Java, etc. Okay, so we understand that we need JDK. So who owns Java, by the way? So there is a company called Oracle. It's a big software company in California. So in fact, back in 95, I think about 95, 96 area, when Java came into picture, actually Java was under a company called Sun Microsystems. Okay, the company's name was Sun Microsystems. Okay, so these people built Java back in 95, 96 area. Actually, they were working on, back then there were programming languages like C and C++. They were all working at Sun Microsystems by a bunch of people led by a person called James Gosling. His name is James Gosling. So he was leading the team, and they were working on some C++ programs for robotics, and then other consumer electronics like your refrigerator, microwaves, etc. They needed some programming language, and they were playing with the C++ and Objective-C, etc. And then there were a lot of issues. I mean, one of the main issues was called pointers. It's a memory allocation and deallocation by the programming language. So, and then they didn't like it. So they ended up creating a new programming language. That's why we call James Gosling father of Java. So it was under this company called Sun Microsystems. About a few years back, I believe 3 or 4 years back, Oracle is a big software company. They bought Sun Microsystems. That is why now Java is under Oracle. So if you need to install Java, and if you need to get any other Java related tools directly, you can get it from Oracle website. Okay, so that's enough talking actually. So what we'll do is, if you don't have any questions, anybody has any questions at this point? Let's go ahead and download and install Java. Okay. So to install Java, we'll go to Oracle and get the JDK, okay, which is for developers. And then when you download it, there are two flavors of your machines, okay. So one is your 32-bit hardware or 64-bit, okay. So your operating system, I'm assuming all of you are using Windows. So actually for Mac people, Java, Mac comes with Java already installed, okay. But anyways, so for all of the Windows people, so you need to know whether your machine is a 32-bit operating system or 64-bit operating system. So how do I know whether it's a 32-bit or 64? So go here, go to Start, and then where is this PC? Right click on this PC and then go to Properties, and then it will tell you what kind of processor you have, okay, how much memory you have. So my machine has 16 gig RAM, and then what kind of system type it is, 64-bit operating system. Did you see that? So mine is a 64-bit operating system. So some of you may have 32-bit operating system. So you need to know whether it is a 64 or 32-bit operating system so that we can get the appropriate JDK. So let's go to Oracle. So oracle.com, and then go to Downloads, and then click on Java SE. By the way, what Java SE means, that Java Standard Edition. Okay, Java has few editions actually: Standard Edition, and then Micro Edition, which is for mobile devices, Enterprise Edition, which is for big enterprise applications. We would need Java Enterprise Edition also later on, but we'll worry about that later, probably month and a half, 2 months down the line. So anyways, so let's go ahead and see here JDK, and now if you look at it, this is Java SE 8. So the current version of Java is actually Java 8. Java 8 has been released few months back, about 6 to 9 months back, but industry has not adopted Java 8. Java 8 has some very good programming language features, like a modern programming language features actually, but most of the companies are still using either Java 6 or Java 7. Okay, so we'll talk about most of the, we will use Java 7. even though we get Java 8 and install Java 8, but we'll talk mostly about the features until Java 7. These are more dramatic features that they introduced Java 8, which hasn't been adopted by the industry yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and, by the way, 8 stands for Java 8, and then so they release a lot of minor version, every single fix, right? So when there is some problem with Java 8, then they release a patch. That's one. Patch 1, patch 2, patch 3. So it's a minor version 31. Okay. So that's where we are. And every single time, probably if you're watching this video 6 months down the line, you may see this word Java SE8 U45. It doesn't matter. Go ahead and install it. So go ahead and download this one. And then we need to accept the license agreement. And then see here, mine is a Windows machine. Mine is a Windows machine and Windows x64. This is for 64-bit operating system. This is for 32-bit operating system. Okay. And then go ahead and just click on it. It's going to download. In fact, I already downloaded before the class, so I don't have to. I'm going to cancel it, but that is what you're going to get it. Okay, about 170 meg. Make sense? So what did we do so far? We just downloaded JDK. Okay, this exe file. This is good for Windows. Okay, so this is for Mac people, by the way. Now I can take, you're saying, Venkat Krishna is saying, I had already installed Java 8 version. It is good. Yes. In that case, then you don't have to install it again. Okay. But before that, in my classes, probably you can reinstall and install also, but it doesn't matter really for me. But in my classes, this is how I expect the program to be able to better assist all of my students. This is what I tell everyone. In your C directory in Windows, okay, create a folder called Java Training. Create a folder called Java Training. And within that Java Training folder, create 2 different folders. One is called Environment, ENV. The other one is called Projects. Okay, all the projects that we do within these 3 months, okay, whatever the work that we do, they'll be saved here. And all the tools that we will use it, the complete environment, all the Java and the Java, all the Java related frameworks, necessary tools, everything will be installed into environment. This is my structure. This is how I follow. So that if you are running into any issue, I expect on all the laptops that, okay, everybody has the same structure so that I can directly jump in and solve your problems. That will make my life easy. That's why I tell everyone to do that. So let's go ahead and create the folder structure. Everybody can see my screen properly. Do I need to adjust screen resolution or anything? Okay. So let me go ahead and create a folder called Java Training in C here. Yep. So underneath this, I'll create 2 different folders. One is environment. This is where I'm going to install all the software necessary for my training, and the other one is projects. Fantastic. So, by the way, earlier when we downloaded here this software, this JDK, it's saved in downloads folder. If you look at it, so this is the exe file we just downloaded, JDK 8231 Windows x64. So just go ahead and double click on that. Now we are going to install it. So we are trying to install this. Next. And then by default, it is going to install it in C, program files, Java, underneath that, it's going to create that folder called JDK 18031, right? But I want all the softwares to be installed here. C, Java training environment. And then here, let's create the folder structure here, whatever it is expecting, Java, and then JDK 18031. So all I can do is go ahead and click on this change because I do not want it. See here, I'm deleting it, I'm putting this. So I want this to be saved in C Java training environment Java JDK 18031. Now it's going to install Java here. JDK will be installed first and then JRE will follow. It's going to take a couple of seconds. If you already have JDK 7, I think that is fine. We don't need to. I already have Java 7 in my machine. Do I have to uninstall and install again? Leena Anand. I'll just take my word back. I just said that it is okay, right? But I'm going to take it back. I think let's go ahead and uninstall it and install it my way. The reason I'm saying is mainly because all the related softwares, now we are going to install a tool called STS. Okay? So we are going to install that is compatible with JDK 8 as well. So I think my life will be easy if you all do it my way. Okay, so that I can solve your problems quicker. That's all. Otherwise, that's the only thing. I think that's fair. Okay, so JDK has been completed. Now it is asking, hey, I need to install JRE. So where do you want me to install JRE? Okay, so see here, by default, it is going to install it in C program files Java JRE 18031. But I'm going to change that because I want it this way. C Java training environment Java, and then within that I'm going to create a folder called JRE 1.80_31. And now I'm going to install JRE here. I'll change it. C Java training environment JRE here. Next. See that 3 billion devices run on Java. So the 3 billion devices, they have Java, it seems. That's pretty impressive. So any questions here? I have Java 7, but I did not uninstall before. You don't have to actually uninstall. You can have both of them as well. But to make it, everybody's life easy so that we all can be on the same page. If you want all of us to be on the same page, I would recommend go ahead and uninstall and install this JDK 8, JRE 8 so that all of us can help each other. So if I'm not around, so all of our team members, they will be able to help you. Yes, you can install after the class, not a problem. So we're done. So we installed JDK, we installed JRE here. Okay. So both of them have been successfully installed. Now, this is the first step. Now, the next step is that, so we got the JDK, now we can start writing the programs. Okay? We can start writing some simple Java programs right now. So typically, we can write the Java programs. By the way you are going to write, okay, when I say Java programs, right? Sorry. When I say, so as Java developers, we are going to write something called Java programs. Okay. So we will write the Java programs and then we'll execute them in JRE, and then we'll get some result. We'll talk about that later, not a problem. Okay. But these Java programs, it is like an English-like high-level language. So it has some English-like language, like any language. Okay. In every single language, we have like an English programming language, right? So we have 26 alphabets, after that words, sentences, etc. So similarly in Java programming language also, so we write a lot of big programs. They're all based on some small rule set that we all agree on. Okay? So it is like a English-like programming language, English-like high-level programming language. So we write English-like code only. So you can write that in a small tool like a tool, your notepad. So here you can start writing the program. So later I'll tell you what this means is, okay, public class, hello world. So this is actually the Java code. This is how we write, okay. See, this is how I write. This is how anybody will write. So it's readable. It is readable. We are going to write hundreds of programs like this. But we don't use the tools like Notepad. We have the most minimal or most basic tool like Notepad, and we have the tools like TextPad. Okay. So here also we can write. Okay. But we do not use it. We use better tools to make our life easy. Okay, so we never write our Java programs in tools like Notepad or TextPad. We always write in more sophisticated. Actually, when I started my career, I did one project. We completely wrote in TextPad. It was horrible. Okay, it was like good 14, 15 years back, I think. So we don't have to write in TextPad and Notepad anymore. We have a more sophisticated tools now, and one of the most famous sophisticated tool is called Eclipse. Okay, so if you use Eclipse, it makes your life easy to write your Java programs. Okay, and all the Java developers, probably good 70 to 80% of the people, Java developers, they use Eclipse, and there are other tools like Eclipse. Okay, we'll talk about that later probably. Okay, there is another tool called NetBeans. There is one more tool called IDEA by JetBrains. So they have their own share, but this is the most popular tool. We all write our programs in Eclipse. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use for the entire session. In all 3 months, we are going to use Eclipse, but there is a better version of it. So Eclipse is a tool for Java developers where we write the Java programs. It's called IDE, Integrated Development Environment. Okay, this is where we write the Java programs. And then it has a plugin based architecture. What I mean by plugin based architecture is, so Eclipse comes with its core tool, okay, and you can add on other tools. There are a lot of thousands or hundreds of thousands, okay, if not millions. So there are hundreds of thousands of applications or plugins that have been written for Eclipse. So you can download all those plugins to make your life easy. Okay, so we'll talk about the plugins later. But I'm not going to use pure plain vanilla Eclipse. There is an Eclipse and some other plugins that have already been together. There is a tool called STS, Spring Tool Suite. It's called Spring Tool Suite. We spend good 3 weeks time to learn about a framework called Spring towards the end of the course. Okay, but they have a tool called Spring Tool Suite. This is based on Eclipse. Eclipse is a core, but they pre-installed certain plugins to make our Java developer life easy. So this is what I'm going to use it for all 3 months. Okay, so today is the first day and I'm going to install that one as well, Spring Tool Suite. So I'll tell you where we get that Spring Tool Suite from, STS from. From here onwards, I'll use STS. Okay. Any questions before I jump into STS installation, downloads, etc.? Anybody has any questions? Okay. So let's go to STS download. Okay. So go to this website called spring.io/tools/STS. Okay. And here we have the Spring Tool Suite downloads. And now click on this. This is our Windows. See this one? Based on Eclipse 4.4.1. So this is Eclipse plus some additional plugins that it automatically comes with it. Okay. So you can directly get that. And again, it is asking whether it is 32-bit or 64-bit. And let's get, for my machine, I'm going to get the 64-bit. And I'll get the zip file like this. It's a huge 400 MB. I already downloaded before the class, so I'm not going to download it now. But I'll show you how it looks. Once you downloaded, so this is how it looks. Spring Tool Suite 363 release, blah. So whatever the version is, so if you watch this video 6 months down the line, this version number could be different, but that's fine. No problem. So, and you don't even have to rely on this website too, because from my previous batch to this batch, they changed the website. So now they changed it to spring.io. Okay, so that is why you don't need to rely on this one too. Just Google for STS download and get the latest version of STS, because we got the latest version of Java and we are going to get the latest version of STS too. So we got this one. It's a simple zip file. So use any zip utilities, like you can use it using this WinRAR, or 7-zip is one of the best zip utilities that I know. So use 7-zip. So right click 7-zip and I'm saying extract here. So go ahead and extract all of these, the entire zip file here. So it is going to extract all of this into a folder called STS bundle. See this one? STS bundle. The reason they call it within STS bundle, you have STS 363 release. See this one? So the reason they call bundle is because they not only give us STS, but they also give a HTTP server, which we will talk about it probably month and a half down the line. Okay, which we don't have to worry about it right now, but this is STS. Okay, so what I'll do is, what is our goal? So we are going to keep all the installations in C Java training environment, right? So I'm going to cut this one, right click, cut, and then go to C, Java training environment. We got the Java here, and I'm going to keep SDS bundle here. That's it. This is our SDS bundle. It's a big one, and within that you have SDS 363 release, and within that you have SDS.txt, sorry, exe file. So what I highly recommend is that this is what we use it for the entire 3 months period. Okay, this is where we write our Java code. This is where we execute. This is where we debug. This is where we struggle. This is our life for the next 3 months. So rather than going to this location every single time, I'll just drag it and pin it here. Okay, so directly I can click on this one, and it will automatically open up like this. And now, once this tool opens up, it is going to ask us, because we are going to do a lot of projects, a lot of work here. So it is going to ask us one question. Hey, all the work that you do in SDS or Eclipse, it doesn't matter, both of them I use interchangeably. SDS is nothing but Eclipse plus for me. It's built on Eclipse, but we get some plugins on top of Eclipse, that's all. So it is going to ask us one question. Hey, select a workspace. Spring Tool Suite stores your projects in a folder called a workspace. So tell me where you want me to store all the work that you do in SDS. And what did we say? That is why I asked you to create 2 folders called C Java Training Projects. So locate this one. So just copy that one and paste it here. And you are telling SDS that, hey, this is my workspace. This is where I want all of my SDS projects to be copied over here. And then it's going to ask us every single time you open SDS. We don't want that, right? So you can select this one. Use this as the default and do not ask again. Do not ask me again. Just click OK. So any questions? I know it's a big software. It's going to see. It took a couple of seconds. It took good 5 to 10 seconds, and sometimes it takes. Actually, on my machine with 16 gig RAM, it took this long, and a 6-core processor. But on your machines, probably it might take a little bit more time too. It's a big one. So this is how it looks. This is the first dashboard. Okay. And now I'll explain various panes, various perspectives, views, all of this later on. So you can move from this one to this one. It's all drag and drop here. See here. You can drag and drop like this. You can do it. So all of this you can do all of this. So any questions so far? We installed Java, especially JDK, and now we installed Eclipse or SDS in specific, and then we are going to start writing the first program. But any questions at this point? Anybody? Okay, so I'm hoping that you're all following. Is everybody following? So Ravi, tell me that again.
Apart from SDS, are there any other proactive tools where they're using currently in the market, so that we just want to know in front so that we will be aware of these tools?
Yep.
Pretty much like different big companies. For example, I heard about RAD when I gone through one of the
Yep.
Similar to that. Are there any other tools?
Yep, that's a great question actually. So let's talk about that. So are there any other tools like Eclipse? First of all, we need to understand that this is not a programming language. This is not a concept. This is not anything to do with the fundamentals. This is just a tool that makes your life easy. Okay? So there are a few tools out there. The most popular is Eclipse. And then there is one more tool by Oracle itself called NetBeans. It is also decently popular. Okay, this is by Oracle. The actual Java people itself, they have this tool called NetBeans. And then there is another company called JetBrains. Okay, there is another company called JetBrains. They have this tool called IDEA. JetBrains IDEA, IntelliJ IDEA, that's what they call it, IntelliJ IDEA. Okay, so this one, they say people who used IntelliJ IDEA, they say this is better than Eclipse. Okay, but this is not a free version. I think you'll have to pay $99. Probably that is the reason why Eclipse is much more popular than IntelliJ IDEA. But I heard from people that they love IntelliJ IDEA, and they go for it. They go ahead and pay $100 to get this one. And I played with it a little bit. Now, I don't have too much. My career pretty much, I've used my entire career Eclipse, and I'm a big fan of Eclipse. So, and a lot of people like me too, who advocate Eclipse quite a bit. I'm a big fan of Eclipse, no doubt about it. So, Oracle, JetBrains, and then as you are saying, IBM has a tool called RAD. Okay, Rational Application Developer, I believe. Yeah. So they have a tool called RAD, and by the way, this RAD is nothing but Eclipse++. So this is actually Eclipse. If you really look at it, Eclipse plus some other additional plugins. That's all. Some additional IBM plugins that they come up with it. But the core under the hood, if you look at it, that's actually Eclipse. It is built on Eclipse, like STS. So again, STS is from Spring Guys, and this is again Eclipse++. So these two tools are completely Eclipse based, and these people are saying here, SAP, you use NWDI. I don't know what that one is, but I'm sure, is that Eclipse based? Because I know in SAP BI or something, you guys use, not BI. Yeah, go ahead.
It's actually called as NetWeaver Development Infrastructure Box, where normally PI developers develop their iViews, where they integrate into the process integration boxes in SAP. It's pretty much like most of the, whoever, like for example, big firms use, they normally create dynamic pages on using SAP tools.
Okay.
That's what, it's like in a simple lame language.
Right.
It's most of the language is Java, but most of the language which has been used in the NWDI is Java.
Yeah. Actually, you guys have in SAP, I know one of my friends was using earlier, you guys have a tool that's built on top of Eclipse too.
Yeah.
So under the hood, it was Eclipse.
Yeah.
And then
NWD, sorry to interrupt. Actually, this NWD, I think, I'm not sure because I'm not aware of Eclipse before.
Okay.
Probably this NW, it's like moreover like a drag and drop, but it's still at the back end. It uses Java language.
Okay. Not sure. So JCreator is another one that Jyoti is mentioning. Okay. Have you used JCreator, Jyoti? I have not used it myself.
Yes, Venkat.
Okay. How do you like it?
It's nothing comparable to Eclipse.
I agree.
Yeah, Eclipse and the STS also, it has plugins to connect and do with SCM, like software configuration management
Yes.
and version control and all. So that is the nice feature that I like.
So we'll talk about that one too probably today. So let's see. And by the way, this Eclipse ecosystem is so powerful that, like your Apple ecosystem is so powerful, your iOS ecosystem is so powerful that you have this App Store, right, and your Android marketplace, right? So similarly, we have this in Eclipse, we have an Eclipse marketplace. So you can go to Eclipse marketplace, search for various plugins that you need. So if you're working on not only for Java, recently, a lot more JVM languages that they started supporting it. So a lot of people are building these plugins, and then you can go to your Eclipse marketplace and search for one of them and get it, and then you start using it. You will be very, very productive. Okay. Anyways, so this is your life, and you will play with Eclipse all your life. So it's pretty much either Eclipse form or STS form or RAD form, whatever that one is. Okay. So now we want to start writing our first program, right? We just want to get the taste of what the Java programming language looks like, and okay. So for that, in Eclipse, first you have to create a project here. Okay, how we create a project? File, new, and then you can create a lot of variety of projects. We will create a lot of projects going forward. We'll create Spring projects. We will create dynamic web projects, etc. But for now, we'll create a simple Java project. Okay, and you can say that you can give any project name. I'll just say Code Java Feb 2015. Okay, and then see here, our Java is actually 1.8, right? But use an execution environment JRE, meaning for all the programs that you are going to write in Java, where do you want to run it? Okay, do you want to run it using Java 8, or do you want to run it something else? So I'm going to select JDK 1.7. Okay, because industry is still using 1.6 and 1.7, 1.8 not yet. Okay, but you can 1.8 is actually backward compatibility too. But it has backward compatibility too, so you can go ahead and use 1.8. But I'm just saying you can select the option here. And then we'll talk about what this one is later, and then click next, and then just say finish. So it is saying that this kind of project is associated with the Java perspective. In Eclipse, you have something called perspectives. What the perspectives mean is that your look and feel of your Eclipse will change now. Since you opened a Java project, it's opening this way. Okay, so later on we create some other projects. Okay, probably today or tomorrow we will start talking about software configuration management. We will start getting the code from a repository. So in that case, the entire Eclipse look and feel will be changed. Okay, so anyways, here this is the project that we created, and here it automatically created a folder called SRC, meaning source. This is where you are going to write your Java program. Okay, so now I will right click and then say new Java class. Okay, what is a class? I didn't talk about what a class is, but I can tell you without getting into too much details that even if you want to write a simple Java program, you need to put all of your Java code within something. That something is called class. Okay, so whatever you write in Java at the high level, you have to create a placeholder. It's something, it's nothing but a placeholder. So you cannot, so if you want to find out what is 2 plus 3 using Java, okay, or 2 times 3, you want to find out 2 times 3, what the result of that one is. Even for that, you need, at the high level, you need something called class. Class is nothing but a placeholder to hold your Java program. That's all. Okay. So I'm just calling, I'm just giving a name, test. Okay. Or you can say, since it is our first program, a lot of people call this as Hello World. It's not only with Java, with every single programming language. When you learn a programming language, you will say hello to the world, right? So similarly, in a software programming language also, so you will start with this simple hello world program. So what we are saying is, hey, I need to create a simple hello world program and just finish it off. Okay. Now, if you look at it, what it did, Eclipse, what it did is, it created some skeleton for you. You did not write this one. Public class hello world, and then it put some braces here. So let's write ourselves. So whatever the container that you are in, what is the container name for this one? Hello world. So you have to write the syntax public class, and you have to, your public class should be same as your container name. Your container is hello world. Okay. And whatever the Java program, whatever the Java code that you're going to write should be inside this container now, public class hello world. So within that, we are going to talk more in depth about it. Next 1 month, this is where we'll spend time. So don't worry about it. Okay. So within this, if you want to execute something, you want to find out what is 2 plus 3, what is 2 times 3. Okay. So if you want to do that, then you need a special sub-container. Within this container, you need to write a sub-container. Okay, that one is called main method. We'll talk about what a method is, etc. But without getting into the details, now there's something called main method. We need to write that main method. And how do we write it? There is some special syntax for that. Public static void main. Within that, you'll have this string array. Don't worry what it is. So just saying that this is my container. See here, your container is enclosed within this curly braces. And now this is a sub-container. We'll talk about the sub-containers later, and even the big containers, we'll talk about that. But if you look at this sub-container here, these are actually curly braces too. So within this curly braces, now you can write, hey, now I want to say hello to everybody. Whoever tries to run this program, I want to say hello to everybody. Okay. So to say something on the console, meaning on your output, wherever you run this one, right? So you want to show something that is called console. So you want to write something to the console saying, hey, hello everybody. So if you want to do that, there is some special syntax called system.out.println. See, it is helping me here. Control space bar. If I do it, then your Eclipse is helping me. Oh, these are all the things that you can use it. It is giving me all these options. Well, we'll get into that little later. And whatever I want to echo it to my console, whatever I want to, I just don't want to do anything. All I want to say is I want to say hello to everybody. Hello class. Okay. And then you need to put that in the double quotes here. whatever you want to put it. And every single Java statement must be closed with a semicolon. This is a legal Java code. Even without this is a legal Java code, but it doesn't do anything. Okay, but now I'm printing something to the console, meaning I'm just telling whoever executes it, I'm just saying hello to everybody. Okay, so we wrote the first program. Okay, so how do I run it? Okay, how do I run a Java program? In Eclipse, the way we do it is, so we either click on this Java program, right click, run as Java application, or go here wherever you are in this Java program, just right click on this one, run as Java application. So run this program for me as the Java application. Then whatever we wrote will be given to the Java runtime environment, and Java runtime environment will execute this program, and then it will understand that, oh, this guy wants to do something. Oh, he's saying hello class. Okay, let me print whatever this guy is saying. Okay, see, right click, run as Java application. See here, it is printed in the console. Whoever is executing it will be able to see that. And if I want to change this one, I'll say hello world, and then again right click, run as Java application. It's changed now. I have a typo, but doesn't matter. Whatever we print it gets echoed back. And you want to do something like a 2 plus 3. Again, you don't have to worry about it. Here we will spend 1 month here, okay, on the core Java itself, but I'm just showing you for now. Okay, let's say I want to find out what is 2 plus 3. Okay, how can you write a simple mathematical expression in Java? I'll just say int x equal to 2. If x equal to 2 and y equal to 3, okay, what is x plus y? I'll say int sum equal to x plus y. We'll talk about the variables, constants. It's all based on mathematics. It's algebra. Okay, every programming language is same, but don't worry about it. It's so I'm just going to echo it. System.out.println. If you want to echo something, if you want to print something to the console, this is what you are going to use it. What is system? What is out? What is println? Don't worry, we'll learn later. Okay, now I'm just going to print something. Sum equal to, and then why I'm doing that plus, we'll worry about it later. But just get an idea of how we write the programs. Right click, run as Java application. So we're doing hello world, sum is 5. Look at that. So we just wrote a simple, like an algebraic expression, right? This is exactly how we write in algebra. Of course, we don't put int here. We just say x equal to 2, y equal to 3, and then sum or s equal to x plus y. Right? So, and we write several things. We can do mathematics. We can do much more. Okay. Just to give you some feeling, just to give you some feel of how Java programming looks like, and we'll deep dive into it. We'll spend 1 month here, 100 hours at least. So on this one, so don't worry about it. Not 100 hours, but about 50, I think. So, any questions so far? So Madhavi is asking if I will write sum equal to 2 plus 3, will I print it? Absolutely. Actually, it is doing mathematics, but it's actually replacing x with 2. It's replacing, sorry, yeah, it's replacing, yes, x with 2 and y with 3. But if you directly give 2 plus 3 like that, absolutely it does, and you'll get the same result. You don't need to declare this because you know what you're doing, right? You'll get the same answer. But I took a little bit more complicated than that. That's easy. The one you're saying it's easy, but I took it like x value is 2, y value is 3. Can you give me x plus y? I'm asking Java to think a little bit. That's all. Okay, from the folder structure perspective, this is how we are going to look. C, Java training, and then environment, projects, like this. Okay, yes, Ravi, you can declare x and y in the same line, but we are not there yet. It's just for fun, just to show everyone, some taste of Java. That's all. So this is how we are going to look like. So C, Java training, environment. Within that we have a Java and then STS bundle. Within STS bundle we have whatever STS bundle has. Okay. Now I want to switch the gears. I know very little bit of Java. We just looked at how to write a simple program and then how do we display something to the console. I just explained. Now, let us switch the gears and talk about something else. Okay, it's something that is practical and I want to introduce on day one for everybody. Okay, so in every company, we do not work independently. We all work in a team, right? So in every project we have a team here. Okay, within that team we have various people. We all work here. Okay, how many people here? 8 people. 8 people are working here. They have a single goal for the whole company, saying that they need to deliver a piece of software. Okay, and they all will be working on different pieces of Java code. So this guy may be working on some financial module. Okay, this guy may be working on HR module. This guy may be working on security module. This guy may be working on all these other people. They're all working on various modules of the same project. Okay, so everybody will be working on various Java programs, but their goal is one. They have to, all of them together, they need to develop some application, some web application like a Gmail. Okay, they need to build Gmail application, web application. Okay, or some mail, mysuperbmail.com. It's like Gmail, mysuperbmail.com. They're building on that particular project. They all have the same goal, but they have different modules. One guy is working on inbox, the other guy is working on sent folder, spam folder, etc., etc. So they're all working on different Java programs, right? So on a daily basis, or at least every other day, everybody needs to get other people work, right? Otherwise, everybody will be working in silo. This guy will only know about financial module, and then they will work like 1 month or 2 months. Let's say the project deadline is 2 months. Okay, they work for 2 months and then finally say that, okay, I'm ready with my financial module. Hey, let's Let's try to see if financial and HR modules both work together or not. You don't want to do that, right? You want to continuously combine all of our work. And I need your Java files and you need my Java files so that we all can work in a collaborative environment. And in fact, I said every day or two. In the most environments, it will be every few hours. Nobody works in isolation. We all work as a team. So I need your files. Whatever you are working on, I would be interested in knowing that, and you would be interested in knowing what I'm working on. And we need to combine it anyway. You may be working on some utility functionality that I needed. So what do they do actually? In any company, what do they do? So maybe one option is I will send you all the Java files that I worked on. I will send all these guys email. Oops. Sorry. So I can email to all the team members saying that, hey, this is what I have, and then go ahead and plug in my changes with yours. Or I can put it in I can give them in a hard drive or something, or I can give a USB drive. That is definitely an option. But we need it, right? We need it more often. And then I need to merge all of these changes. And let's say my hard disk crashed here by the time I send an email or I put it in the USB drive, my hard disk crashed. What do I do now? So we cannot take a risk of keeping all of the Java programs that we write in our machines, in our laptops, our hard drives. So one, we need collaboration. The biggest thing is we need to collaborate each other. We need to share each other's files, Java files. Also, we also can't rely on our hard disks. Rather, we need to put it in a separate, in safe box. Okay. For that, in every company, every single company will use something called software configuration management for this. So what they do is they will create something called a repository. This repository is like your safe deposit box, okay? Or how do I say? This repository is centralized, okay? It is actually installed in a different machine than anyone else's laptop. There is a separate machine for that. And then as you are done coding each and every Java file, you go put your stuff into this one. You do not communicate. You don't have to communicate with any of the team members. You don't have to send out email. Maybe I don't need to get your files right now. Okay, so you go put your files into the centralized repository, and this guy also goes and puts it in centralized repository. This guy also goes and put it in centralized repository. Everybody will put their Java code, whatever the precious work that they did, they're going to put it in a centralized repository. And then let's say the security guy needs everybody's work. He will just get it from the centralized repository. Or this guy needs your work, so he'll just get it from centralized repository. So we don't have to email, we don't have to share the USB drives, we don't have to do any of that stuff. Okay. So this is how it works, and this is called software configuration management. And there are several these repositories, right? There are several repository managers, and there are several softwares that are available. Okay, and one of them is called CVS. It's a little old, concurrent version systems. And there is one more called subversion, SVN. There is a most popular, recently very popular one is called Git. Okay, Git, Git. And then there is one more option called Mercurial, and several more. There are a couple more. So Uma is asking a question. Let's take her question. So, can one person, example finance, change the code written by another guy? Absolutely. Great point, Uma. So let's say that, let me take a different, Let's say finance guy, okay, he did initial Java code and then put it into the centralized repository, the central repository. And now the security guy needed to change that module. So he will get whatever the finance guy modified, he will get it from the repository, and then he will make the necessary changes. He doesn't have to ask, because if he knows what he needs to do it, he doesn't have to ask, because this is not anybody's baby. This is like a team's work, right? Because there is something that is related to security that he needs to change in the financial module, that this guy changed it. So after, he will locally modify it, and then once he tests and he'll make sure that it is working properly, and then he will put it back into the central repository. Okay, so he pulled out the code from the repository and made changes and again putting into this one. And let's say this guy here, okay, he's working on some inbox module. Now, if he gets it, after he put it back, now he will get his latest changes. Now he can modify and again put it back. So at any point, any of the team member, let's say a brand new team member came into picture. This guy is a brand new team member. Now he wants to get new code and everybody's code. All he has to do is, he doesn't have to go and ask, hey, can you give me your financial code? Can you give me your security code? Can you give me your HR code? No, he'll just go and get it from the centralized repository and he will get it. The reason being that everybody constantly putting their changes into the central repository. This is exactly how it works. It's nothing to do with Java. Every single programming language, every single team, every single environment, it doesn't matter whether you are writing SAP code, .NET code, Java code, Scala, Ruby, doesn't matter what it is. Everybody has to follow one of these configuration management approaches. But it doesn't have to be centralized. There is a different concept in Git that they introduced called distributed model, which I'm not going to talk about it right now, but try to understand this concept. This is centralized model. At any point anybody needs, all the code is here. And a guy, so once all of the whole team worked for 3 months, everybody delivered it, everybody has put it, their code here. Now, whoever releases the code will actually release from the central repository, not from any of this. Okay, so why am I saying this one? Actually, why am I talking about it? This is the most important piece. Okay. Why am I talking about the software configuration management on day one? The reason is, in my opinion, this is the most important piece. You may be really powerful in Java, but if you don't know these fundamentals, once you join any team, and I tell everyone on day one in my introductory class that I train people based on what industry needs. It's not for academics. You need to be able to go and do your job as a Java developer. Okay? So how I leverage this approach is, let's take a look at it. So for my classes, every single day, so this is me, Venkat. So every single day, we work on various projects. So today, we wrote a simple Java program. Okay. Once you go home, you want to get this one. So what are my options? These are all the team members here. Okay. I'll put all the team members in a different color. So these are all you. Okay. Once you go home, you want to get my code. Okay. And how do you get this? I have to either email you or I have to share some other, Google Drive or some other drive. I don't do that. What I'll do is, I'll actually, all the code that I work on here in the class, I'll put it into the central repository. Okay, there is a repository, and I use here a repository manager called Subversion. I said CVS, Subversion, Git, Mercurial. There are 4 or 5 kinds of repository managers, right? So the one I use is Subversion. And I actually did not have to create a new Subversion server. Google automatically does this one. Google has something called Google Code. So code.google.com. Go to code.google.com. Their main intention is that if you have a nifty idea you want to share, you want to make it available free to the entire world, if you want to do that, you can use code.google.com infrastructure and you can build your software and you can give it to the public. Anybody will be able to see your code also. There is no private here. Everybody should be able to see the code. So all of my lessons throughout these 3 months, every single program out there that I teach here, I'll put it in the Google Code repository. This is Google Code repository. Okay, I'll put it here. All you need to do is go home or here, you just go get it from Google Code repository right after the class. It doesn't matter. And 6 months down the line you need it, it's there already. And it is open source. So it is free for everybody, not only to you who come to my classes, but you can share with your friends. You can, the source code, all the examples that I take it, a lot of people across the world, they use it. Okay, thousands of people actually, they use my source code to quickly look at. Like I'm working on a RESTful web service somewhere. Okay, and then I need a quick sample. They look at my example and get it. I actually used my samples a lot of times. Okay, so my point is, you can go get it from this Google Code repository, and that is actually a Subversion based repository. Let me take, looks like a couple of people have comments. Let me take questions here. Ketan, is it for dev only for all lower environments? Okay. I don't want to answer right now, Ketan. The main reason is people here don't know all the environments in any software project. Okay, dev, QA, stage, production thingy. But to answer your question, yes, because that is where we all code it. From dev to QA should be automatic. Whatever you did it in dev, once that is tested, you should be able to take it to QA. To simply answer your question, I do not want to elaborate on that because people do not know much about it. Okay. Can two persons work on the same code? Oh God, Ketan, you have a comment?
I said thank you very much. Yeah, I just want to make sure. I realized that it would go directly to QA, but I just want to make
exactly.
sure.
Exactly. You never push anything to QA or stage or any other environment from your local machine. No.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. No problems. So can two persons work on the same code simultaneously? Can both finance and security person get the source code from centralized repository at the same time? Yes, absolutely. They can get it. And let me go back to the previous one, right? So here security and finance guy, they both can get the code at the same time. They both can, oh, did I mess it up? Okay. So both security and financial guy can get the same file from the centralized repository. Come on. Sorry about it. Okay. Both of them can get the same Java file from central Maven repository. And now let's say finance guy has done, he's done with his changes. Now he will put it back. Okay. Now security guy tries to, he's also done with his changes, and now he wants to put back his changes. So this is so powerful software that it doesn't let you do that. Because after you took the code out, somebody else has put the later version here in the repository. So I cannot go and override his changes with yours. So I will give you option. What I'll do is I will have you merge finance guy changes and security guy changes manually. You look at finance guy changes and you look at security guy changes, and manually you merge both of them and then again put it back into the repository so that both the changes will go into the repository. Make sense, Uma?
Yeah, thank you. So this may not be a technical question, but when they try to merge, will the changes be highlighted?
Absolutely. We will look at it. I'm not sure. I don't think we'll do it today or tomorrow, but I will create one repository for you guys. Okay, it's called homework repository, and I will give write access to all the people here in the class. And then let's say Uma put in her changes, and let's say Shekhar has got Uma's changes and he wants to put it back. So how does this work? We will practically take a look at that actually. Okay, so when you merge your changes, to answer your question, when you merge it, it's going to be a manual merge because only you guys know what a merge is. You agree? This software doesn't know. Your intention may be to override his changes, or your intention may be to get his changes and merge your changes back. So software wouldn't know your intention. So that is why it will ask you to actually look at both the changes and merge them manually and then again put it back to the repository. Okay? So the point is, all the code that I work on here in this training, so I'll put it into the Google Code repository, and you all go get from the Google Code repository. Okay, and you will never be able to check in to this Google Code repository that I have access to, because I'm not going to give you access for this one, but I will create a separate repository for you guys so that you can play with it. These concepts are so important, you need to know from day one. Okay, let me see what am I saying. Okay, I was just thinking along the lines of Microsoft Word for merging. Thank you. Yep. Now, if you're wondering where this Google Code repository is, it is here. Go to my website called javavenkat.com. Go to this more stuff source code. So if you look at this one, this is the website. So this is the repository. This is the repository URL. Okay. So in Google Code, anybody can create a repository. All you need is a Gmail ID. Using Gmail ID, you can create a repository and you can create your projects. It's essentially that they call it project. Okay. So you will create your projects and then you can share with any number of people. But this one I gave public access, read only, but write access only I got it. Okay. See all the examples in this 3 months that we take it for every single topic that we talk about it. Okay, for JDBC topic, Hibernate basic topic, Hibernate, JSP, Movie Store. We do some projects here. Servlets, Spring. So we work on some projects here. Redbox application, we work on it. We'll use the Spring MVC for Redbox, Spring AOP, all of this. So every single concept has a project here. Okay, even after you go to your go and join the companies as Java developers, use this repository as your reference. Okay. So as I told you, that is open source. You can tell your friends to ask them to use it. That's about the Google Code. And now, how do I get it from Google Code into my Eclipse? Because on a day-to-day basis, we use Eclipse, right? So how do I get this code from this Google Code repository? You created all these projects. That's fantastic. How do I get it? Or do you want me to really go to the browser and, Core Java, for example, right? Core Java, source, com, training, Java, core. Let's say arrays. Let's talk about arrays. Array demo 1. So you want me to go through this and copy this one and put it in Eclipse? That's ugly way of doing it, right? No, you don't need to do that. So Eclipse has a plugin to be able to automatically get the code, subversion code, and put it into your Eclipse. There is a plugin. That plugin name, that Eclipse plugin name is called Subversive. Okay, we can go to Eclipse Marketplace and get this plugin called Subversive. So Subversive is an Eclipse plugin that will help connect you to a Subversion repository. And now you will be able to get the code from the repository to your machine. It is there somewhere in the cloud, right? It is not in your machine. This is somewhere in the cloud. If you look at it, so the URL is, it's a googlecode.com, javatrainingvenkat.googlecode.com. So all of this code that we are looking at right now is there in the Google servers. But you want to get a copy of it so that you can view it or so that you can execute it in your machine. You want to get it. To do that, you need an Eclipse plugin called Subversive. Okay. So the way it works is, so this is your Eclipse, right? Or I can put it in a different picture. So this is your Eclipse. Okay. Or STS. STS and Eclipse, they both are same to me. Now, there is a plugin here called Subversive. Okay. So this is Subversion repository here. SVN repository. Okay, is SVN same as Subversive? No. Subversive, okay, SVN is a repository manager, using which you can create the Subversion repositories, and you can create the projects, and your team will have access. Okay, and it has got nothing to do with Java. Your project can be .NET, Java, SAP, anything. You can put anything. All of you are sharing, okay, all the people here, let's say you guys are sharing your thoughts on something. You are writing a novel and everybody is writing different chapters. You can put all of that stuff in Subversion repository. Nothing to do with Java. But there are a lot of Subversion clients. There are a lot of Subversion clients that you can use it to view it, to view the code here or to get the code here. There are a lot of Subversion clients. One of the most popular Subversion clients is called Tortoise. Tortoise or Tortoise client. Okay. But we use Eclipse day in, day out. Pretty much there is one piece of software that we use it every single minute as a Java developer is Eclipse. We don't want to go to some other clients. We don't, like a Tortoise. I don't want to do it. I want my work done in Eclipse. I need to be able to get the code from Subversion and be able to insert the code or make the changes into the repository. By the way, I'll introduce the jargon right now. Getting the code out to the getting the code from Subversion repository into the local is called checkout. You are checking out the code, meaning you are getting a copy of the code into your local machine. And then you made some changes and now you're putting the changes back into the Subversion server is called check-in, or there is another name for that called commit. Either we commit the changes or check in the changes. Okay? Now, I don't want to use any of these Subversion clients like a Tortoise and a lot of other clients. I want to use Eclipse. And there is an Eclipse plugin called Subversive that helps you communicate with the SVN repositories. Does it make sense now? Okay. So the Subversive is an Eclipse, it's an Eclipse plugin. Okay. And now the Subversive depends on some Java-based Subversion libraries. Those are called SVN kit. So what happens is in Eclipse you use Subversive. The Subversive will call the Java-based Subversion library called SVN kit, and which internally communicate with the actual Subversion repository and Google servers. So all we need to do is we need to install this Subversive plugin. Any questions? Is it too much on day one? Is everybody following? Okay. Let me go ahead. I'll also show you right now how to use this Eclipse Marketplace to get a plugin and install it into Eclipse. See here, earlier I was talking about various perspectives. Go to window here, window, open perspective. Various perspectives are there. If you are working on a Java project, then you can click on Java perspective. Within this Java perspective, meaning in the Java perspective, you will see several views underneath it. What I mean by view is this is a package explorer view, meaning this is how you will see all the Java packages. You don't know what Java package is, so don't worry about it. And here you will see problems, Java doc, declaration, console. We'll talk about it, but this is how it looks. But now, let's say I'm working on a different, let's look at another perspective here. Let's say I'm working on database management, database development. Okay, I'm working on database development. And then take a look at it. My views are changed now. See here, my view here is Data Source Explorer. And here in the bottom, I see a different view called SQL Results, Execution Plan, and Bookmarks. See how it is dynamically changing. And now all my perspectives are here as shortcuts for me. Once I click on Java, it will bring it back to Java. This is the Java perspective and any other perspective. Now, let's go and open. We don't have a perspective. See, by default, Eclipse will give you this CVS repository exploring. By default, it supports CVS. Okay, and by default, it will support Git also, but it does not support Subversion. So let's go to CVS repository exploring. See, everything is changed. Now CVS repositories, task repositories, etc. Now let me go back to the Java, and now let's go to another repository. Let's say you are working on JPA. It's one framework, one specification actually. Let's say you are working on plugins otherwise. Then your, see here, your views are different now. So you got the plugins now. Okay, so dynamically everything will change now. I'll go back to Java now. Now, I want to install Subversive. How do I install it? Now I'll go to Help. I'll go to Eclipse Marketplace. As I told you, Marketplace is nothing but your app store for your Apple device, your iPhone. Okay. Now here you will get, like how you get your apps onto your iPhone, similarly you are getting all the plugins onto your Eclipse so that it will give you a different perspective, meaning different tools to use that. Now we need to be able to communicate with the Subversion repository and get the code and be able to, put the code, check out code and check in code. I can use the jargon from here onwards. How do I do that? So let's find Subversive. Okay, see here, Subversive, SVN team provider 2.0.1. I want this one. I want to install this guy. Let's go ahead and install. And when I install, it showed me I need all of this. Sure. I'm checking all of this, and I accept the terms of the agreement, and I go ahead and finish it up. It's downloading right now, that particular plugin and all the necessary software along with that. You will need to restart your Spring Tool suite. Yes, go ahead and restart. Now you will see a different perspective. Okay. Now you will see a different perspective, and I'll show you how you can get this code onto your machines right now. It's pretty simple. Now I'm going to Window, Open Perspective. You will see a different perspective here called SVN repository. SVN meaning Subversion Repository Exploring. We have not seen this before. It was not there. Because we added that particular plugin gave you this particular perspective, which will help us connect to SVN. Now, let's step back here for a second. Now we got the Subversive. Now, Subversive itself will not be able to talk to the Subversion repository. This will only give you the front end. This will give you the necessary tools in the front end here. But under the hood, you need a different library, Java library called SVN kit. Okay? This SVN kit is completely written in Java, which will internally communicate with Subversion. So your subversive plugin will use this SVN kit, which will actually communicate with Subversion repository. So that SVN kit, let's go ahead and install that. As soon as we opened that Subversion repositories, it actually showed us the beautiful Eclipse ecosystem is, it already showed us, see this Subversive connector discovery. Hey, you need one of this. I'm picking this SVN kit, the latest version. I want this one, just this one. And let's go ahead and install that. Click next. I accept the terms. And then we'll just, yep, let's go ahead and install it. Yep, we'll have to restart one more time, and that's it. We're good to go. We are good to go. Now, let's go to our javavenkat.com and then get the repository URL. All of you, once you go home, once you install this Subversion Subversive plugin, so now go to Window, Open Perspective. See this one? SVN repository exploring, all good. Now, there are no repositories here. There are no repositories here. Let me go ahead and add a repository. Right click, new repository location, and we need to specify the URL of the repository. Tell me where your repository is so that I can show you what is there in the repository for you to check out the code onto your local machine. That repository URL, I gave it here. You can copy, paste this guy. As is, copy, paste it. Since I'm going to, this is what you will do it at home, but since I'm going to check in the code, because I need to check in the code also. You don't need, all you have to do is just http://javatrainingvenkatgooglecode.com/svn/trunk. But I'm putting HTTPS just for me, because only this URL can check in. This is the check-in URL. But for you guys, you're just going to get the code, right? So just copy, paste this one, and then you don't have to give your username and password because you are not going to check in. But I will give my username and password. I'll give it later, not a problem. I would need only this username and password when it is time for me to check in something into the repository, meaning when I put something into that. The repository location root URL refers to one of the resources. Don't worry about it. Do you wish to normalize URL? No, I'll leave it. Okay, see this one? Take a look at this one. This is the Google code repository for my Java training, Venkat. Take a look at this one. Whatever the projects that you see here, all the projects that you see here also. See here? And each one of them is an Eclipse project here. So now core Java. The number, don't worry about that number. That is a versioning number. So how many versions have been checked in? What is the latest version? So it's related to versioning. We'll talk about that once I set up the homework repository. So all I have to do is take any of these projects. I'll take probably core Java, right click, and I'll do a checkout. Go back to our jargon here. Checkout meaning I'm checking out a copy of what you have. I'm not taking everything out. I'm just making a copy onto my local machine so that I don't have to go back and forth here. Now I will make local changes if I need to. You know what is happening? This Subversive plugin is getting the code from Subversion repository, all of my previous batches code, okay, for the core Java. It is getting it. It just got it and made it available for me. See here? These are various packages. You don't know what Java package is. It's a simple folder structure. That's all. Various concepts will I manage like this. All the abstract class examples here, array examples here, collection examples here, construct example here, enums here, equals here, like that. Okay. Now take a look at any of the examples. Book list example. See here? You got the code. You got the real code. You can go ahead and actually run this guy. Right click, run as Java application. You just see here. You got the, you got whatever whatever you have been printing here. Your code has been executed. You just got the code from the central repository into your local repository, and then you executed a code. That's it. Make sense? So I want all of you to do this at home. Okay? Install Java. I know we did not get down to what the Java structure is, how Java semantics. We don't know any of that. See, ideally, that is what I should teach, but I don't. The reason is these are more important than that. That can wait. I want all of these fundamentals, these subversion concepts, because either once you join any company, you'll be either using CVS, Subversion, Git, or Mercurial, any one of these configuration management tools. And you will be constantly, from day one, you will be checking out and checking in. Once you go to any company, the first question you will ask is, hey, can you give me the, oh, by the way, what repository are you guys using? What repository type are you using? Subversion, Git, CVS? They're all very similar. Okay? Then they'll say, okay, we are using CVS. Okay, can you give me the CVS URL? And once you get the URL, then go to that particular perspective, and then go to that view here, and then new repository location, give your repository URL here, and give your username and password. That is how you check out the existing code into your local machine, and you will start putting more changes on top of it. Manikanta is asking, what is the plugin for Mercurial? I don't know. I've never used Mercurial, Manikanta, but you can check in your marketplace and see. That's a good question actually. I've never used Mercurial. I only use CVS and Subversion and a little bit of Git. Mercurial, or just Google it. See this? Mercurial Eclipse 2.1. Mercurial Eclipse is a plugin for the Eclipse IDE providing support for the Mercurial Distributed Version Control System. Same thing. These are all called version control systems, whether it is Mercurial, CVS, Subversion, Git. Okay. Madhavi, I have subclips. Can I install Subversive too? Yes. For Subversion, you have two kinds of plugins. One is called subclips. If you look at my videos, until the last batch, I've used subclips. But subclips was giving one problem or the other. That is why I moved to Subversive this year. I mean, this particular batch. If you look at my previous videos, I have used subclips. I think that's fine. As long as it works, that is fine. That depends on something else called Java HL, and that is why I'm not using Java HL here. I'm rather using this pure Java-based library called SVN-Kit. Java HL is more native. I'll talk about it. You don't understand what JNA is, Java Native Interface is and all. This is easier. I felt it is easier so far. That is why I'm introducing Subversive here. Any questions? Let me unmute. If you don't have any questions, that's all I have actually, but I want to get some feeling here. I want to get some idea of how you guys took it. Yuri, you have a question?
No, I don't.
Okay. Did you follow today?
Yes, I do.
No.
I did.
You did. Okay. Excellent. Jyoti, when you go to Eclipse Marketplace, did it ask you to enter user ID and password? Nope. Eclipse Marketplace? No. It did not. You don't need to, actually. All of this you don't need to. So please go ahead and do it, and I'm coming from bottom. Venkat Krishna, did you follow? Uma, Shekhar, Rohit, Ravi, Rana, Katta. Manikanta, you have a question?
No.
Did you follow?
Yeah.
Very good. Madhavi, Leena, Ketan, Jyoti, Jay, Antenna, Anup. So everybody, I'm thinking everybody was able to follow. Yeah, unmute. I'm sorry. Jyoti, go ahead.
Yeah, so one question, for some reason, I have the subclips where I am able to access Subversion and everything that is in the repository. But when I click on Eclipse Marketplace, it is asking me to enter the user ID and password.
Right. You have the subclips, right?
Yeah, I have the subclips already.
Yes. I know. I will work
but
with.
I am trying to have the Subversive also. So that's why.
Okay.
When I go to help and then click on Eclipse Marketplace, it is showing up a pop-up message asking me to enter user ID and password.
Yep. Because I will take a look at it right now in just few minutes. Let everybody go, and I'll help you. Anybody else having? Go ahead.
And I have another question.
Sure.
Venkat.
Yes.
So what I tried is like the hello world. I tried to execute it from the command prompt, and I have my source code file and the class file in the same folder.
Right.
And I updated my path file to use the JDK 1.8 folder.
Right.
And when I execute it, when I execute the source code file, it has created a class file, and then I have given a command like Java and then hello world and tried to execute it. It is giving me an error saying that it could not find or load the class. So what I did is I just gave Java and hyphen class CP and then hello world, then it is able to show me what I am expected to see.
So you are one step ahead. I can't talk right now because
Okay.
that is related to class path. We did not talk about what a class path is actually really. So
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was not sure whether I should ask now because I updated the class path also.
right. So
Yeah, but
I can answer in one sentence. What it means is that
Yeah. Yeah.
wherever you are, let's say you are in C Jyoti and that is where you're executing from. C Jyoti is not there in the class path. Once you put it in the class path, your JVM is able to see, your JVM will scan in every single location that is specified in the class path. Since now you put it, your dot or your current directory in the class path, it is able to locate your hello world program there. But we will talk about it. If you don't understand, take it easy. You get it?
yes, I got it.
You got it, right? Okay. So any other questions? That's it. Thank you so much.